Hello and welcome to the Primal Armor podcast, where myself and other featured guests will be diving deep into topics that cover the four main aspects of health: physical health, mental health, emotional health, and spiritual health. Primal Armor strives to go back to the basics to give us a better foundational support to overall health and wellness that we can all try to improve on each and every day. I just want to thank you for stopping what you're doing today and taking time to listen to this podcast. Enjoy. Before we get started into the episode, I just want to take a few seconds to thank today's sponsor, Anchor Podcasts. They allow me to create and edit these podcasts for you guys. They're also the ones who distribute this podcast to other platforms such as Spotify and the Apple Podcast app on your phone, so you guys can listen to it anywhere at any time. It's everything needed all in one app. I encourage you all to get started today. Go download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm and follow the podcast. Many of you have probably been seeing me post about this company/brand that I'm starting up called Primal Armor. Today's episode is going to go a little more in-depth about the mission I'm trying to accomplish with this, how I came up with the name, and other details that might make this whole idea a lot more clear. This is something that's been on my heart for quite a while, and I just never knew how to branch out with my ideas, and I was never in a position in my life to be able to take these steps until now. In 2019, my life was completely flipped upside down, and I found myself at rock bottom. I made many life changes that have led me to where I'm at today, which has inspired me to reach out and be able to help others in any way that I can. My expertise is definitely concentrated towards physical health. I have 6+ years of studying and researching both exercise and nutrition at a very scientific level, and close to a decade's worth of experience applying these things in my own life. Because of this, I have found many things that have worked and are very useful, but I found even more things that have failed miserably. This has allowed me to build my own philosophy of exercise and nutrition, and that's also what influenced me to the name of Primal Armor. If you read my Instagram post when I officially announced this starting up, then you probably have a good idea about the name, but I'm just going to explain this a little bit further for those of you who don't know. First, the word primal relates to how humans thrive at a very scientific level, which is still the same today as it was thousands of years ago when we were hunter-gatherers. We did not have access to fast food, nothing was processed, diseases such as obesity and type 2 diabetes didn't exist, and that's because our bodies are meant to eat real foods. Plants, animals, nuts, things that are found in nature and not made in a factory, because that's not food. Our bodies aren't designed to intake and process these foods as energy, which is why we see obesity skyrocketing today, along with tons of other diseases that weren't so prevalent even a couple hundred years ago. And that's not because our scientific and genetic makeup has changed, it's because our diet and lifestyle has. So, my philosophy for physical health is to get back to the basics, like our bodies are designed for, to go back to our primal ways and get our asses off the couch, to get outside and move a little, and make steps each day towards eating more real foods and making a difference. And then, secondly, the word armor. It also comes from the same aspect as well. Humans don't have armor, or that defense mechanism like other animals. Turtles have their shells, fish have their scales, but all humans have is whatever muscular fitness that they've got. Humans are meant to live by the phrase, survival of the fittest, and that's how we lived for thousands of years. The more fit you were, the better chance that you had at just hunting for your food, fighting off diseases, and protecting and providing for yourself and your family. The word armor is also based off religious views as well. To quote Ephesians 6:11, "Put on the full armor of God, so you can take a stand against the devil and his schemes." As I brought up earlier in this podcast, 2019 had taken me down to rock bottom in my life. I had to reconnect with my relationship with God and trust that He had a plan for my life. A relationship with God is the main foundation that everything else in life is built off of. If we, as humans, put on the armor of God, trust that He has your back, then nothing in life will ever be able to stop or slow you down because you've got God fighting on your side. And that's what made this easy to follow through with the decision of starting up Primal Armor. And now, I just want to take a moment to focus on the meaning of the logo that I created. The center point and focus is the cross in the middle of the shield. The shield represents the armor that we as humans lack and are seeking to create through faith and fitness. I wanted to emphasize the cross as the center point of the logo, and also as the center point of what Primal Armor is about. making God the center point of your life is the first step and the most important thing you can ever do in your life. Because what do we have? Maybe 70, 80 years here on earth? That's minuscule in the grand scheme of things. We're promised everlasting life through Jesus Christ. And it's right there for us to have, because that's what he promised to us that day he died for us on the cross. But that's just not something that's given out and taken one day, and then you can forget about it. A relationship with God is not owned by you, it's rented. And the rent's due every single day. You don't get to choose which days you believe in God and which ones you slack in that area. Every day you should be thanking God for everything good going in your life. You have those things because of him. Pay your rent with prayer, praise, and worship every single day. And that's just where the circle and the logo comes into play. If you take a quick glance at it, you can see that the circle is incomplete. And that's a representation of our life. We can't be complete without God in our lives. Without God in our lives, all the other aspects of just health will lack as well. Without being complete in our emotions, we can't be complete in our mental health either. Uncontrolled emotions can cause a lot of stress mentally and even physically. I think you can see just where this is going, and I believe that step one is creating a relationship with God, and it's why I'm so passionate about that. Once you get that in control, then it's not only yourself that you're working on, you have God working on yourself as well, just to be the best version that you can be. I have such a passion for helping others, and that's just what's been on my heart for such a long time, just to be able to reach out and help others in any possible way that I can, whether that's physically, spiritually, mentally, or emotionally. God has given me the confidence and this platform to speak to others, and just give them the chance to connect back to me if they feel the need for advice. Because of that, I believe that this will be very successful with my plan and mission of Primal Armor. Then, lastly, I just want to focus on mental and emotional health as well, because that's just something that's neglected from a health standpoint. Experiencing rock bottom myself, I learned what it takes to climb out of the hole and make the changes needed, and just really put into perspective of how important it is to get your mind straight. It takes a lot of strength to be able to admit that you need help, especially as males, who are just supposed to represent toughness and tend to just leave their emotions lie dormant. If you don't try and fix and tackle underlying issues, other aspects of your life are going to suffer as well. Letting stress build can throw off eating habits, exercise patterns, and just put you in a hole that's very hard to dig yourself out of. Because of these reasons, there will be podcasts covering topics specifically giving tips and advice for anyone feeling that they're struggling with this. And I know it's that I've been through counseling now for months, and it's been the best thing that I ever could have done for my life. And just to get me in a right place where I've never felt happier. I just want to reach out to others that are struggling and teach them what I've learned and give them the advice that I have to help them in any possible way and help them feel those feelings as well. So for at the moment, Primal Armor is just going to start off as a podcast, and I'll see where I can take it from there. I already have a handful of topics in mind for the next few podcasts and a few guests lined up to help me discuss them, just from more than one angle, so I can give you advice from other experts in this field as well. I just want to enter this new decade helping others find a totally new perspective on life. So if you have anything specifically that you would like for me to go more depth about, I'm open to just about anything. So just get a hold of me, and I'll use my resources to give you the best help and the best advice that I can. I just want to thank you guys again if you lasted this long in listening to me describe what I'm doing with Primal Armor. I appreciate all of the support, and I'll talk to you guys in the next podcast.